So I'm sure recently most of you would have been foraging. It's a very exciting and enjoyable time on Skyblock, to be honest. With so many fresh new things to do and progression to gain relatively easily, it's something for pretty much everyone at every stage in the game. A major part of this update is, of course, attributes and shards, not just foraging and hunting, even though, you know, there is overlap. And unless you do have really high stats at the moment, the money that you're making from foraging is kind of declining, as you would probably expect. So today it's time to test out something a little bit different. And the main thing that you need for this, what we're going to test out, is a black hole, which you can obtain just through simply doing the foraging questline, or alternatively heading over to Albert and then purchasing maybe the bigger black hole if you want it. The next thing I also recommend that you have is at least an epic frog pet. The legendary doesn't really help us too much in this situation. This level 100 frog pet is going to increase your chances to catch forest, water and combat shards by 10%, which is actually great for what we want to do. Now this frog pet at the moment is going to set you back around about 25 million coins. And yeah, a legendary, the only other buff that this pet gains is foraging related, which isn't relevant to what we need. Plus getting the epic saves yourself around about 10 mil. Now a lot of you will now be thinking, okay, well, obviously you're just going to be using the black hole to collect shards from some sort of mob around Skyblock, and you would be right. Now you might look at this golden ghoul shard and think, I mean, that's relatively cheap. And to be honest, you would be right. However, this is in great demand at the moment, and the reason for that is people are trying to level up the Crown of Avarice, and at 10 this is going to give you an extra 10 coins per kill, which I'm sure everybody would want to get their hands on. Plus, for anyone wanting to get unique attributes, this is a really cheap one, or max attributes, this is also a really cheap one to get, and everybody can siphon it because it's only a common shard. So all of these factors combined mean this is in crazy demand. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to do revs. Who would have thought we'd be doing revs to make money from the foraging update? We're going to be doing revs, and every time we see a golden ghoul, we're going to get our black hole out, and then we're going to basically harvest the shards from those golden ghouls. Now, I would also recommend picking up one of these hunt axes. It doesn't have to be the legendary one if you really don't want to. Although I would recommend it because it's not really that expensive. It's going to cost you 2 million coins. Now, just as an example, what this hunt axe does is it gets the mob down to 1 health and won't take it any lower. You then place the black hole down, and then the mob gets pulled into the black hole. Now, in this case, there is no shard that can be harvested, hence why it's not doing anything. But here we can see there's 2 golden ghouls, so let's go ahead and get them down to, well, 1 HP. Probably should put some enchantments on this to make this process a little bit quicker, however I'm still doing some damage. We'll put the black hole down, and these both should get sucked into the black hole. Okay, well this one should, but as you can see we've got 2 shards there. We're going to get some more shards here. Cool. And there's another one spawned again, and it's just that kind of do this and repeat. And there you go, you just keep getting these shards, and at the same time you'll be spawning rev bosses. Now the idea is that we're going to do this for an hour, and see how much money we can actually make at the end. Now, for me, this is just quite a nice change of pace because I've been foraging pretty relentlessly. Plus, a lot of the money at the moment that I'm making from foraging, I'm pretty much just reinvesting straight into attribute shards to gain more XP and gain better stats and so on. So, let's see how it goes. But just before we do, at the moment, we're actually trying to beat the population of Andorra with subscribers. The population of Andorra is around about 80,000 people, and once we reach 80,000 subscribers, we'll actually be visiting Andorra and we'll be able to claim that we have more subscribers than the population of the whole country, which would be pretty cool, so make sure to subscribe to make that happen. Also, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS, it gets yourself 5% off. You should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. We offer slayers and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry, make some coins, make sure to join. Now, one thing that is a bit annoying is I don't have any G-Drag bank at all because I spent all of my G-Drag bank on buying a Jade Dragon, which has now subsequently dropped about 250 million price. But anyway, we go next. Let's get our Axe of the Shredded. Oh, sorry, should I say... Is it Sword of the Shredded? I don't even know what it's called anymore. The Halberd of the Shredded. Why? Why? So I've set up an auto pet rule, which means that when our rev spawns, we equip the golden dragon pet. And then when I throw my fishing rod, because I just think it's going to be easier instead of trying to figure out what's best to do, my frog spawns. There we go. Now the idea is that not only are we going to be gaining money from the shards, we're also going to be gaining money from the revs too. Because of course we then have the possibility of dropping, you know, rare drops, or just simply benefiting from the regular profit that you make from doing revs. So just to double check, I've taken everything out of my hunting box, so we'll be able to see exactly what shards we get when we actually go ahead and start doing the method. I'm going to set an hour timer, and we'll see how much money we can make. This should be good. I'm hoping for the best. Well, obviously. Anyway, here we go. So, just to show you exactly what it is that I'm doing, I'm hitting the golden goes down until the 1 HP. I'm placing down the black hole, and then I'm waiting for them to get sucked into it. It'll do it one by one, so just be patient. Another one spawns, so you start hitting that down to 1 HP, let them get sucked into the black hole, get this one's attention, come over here. And from my experience, by the time you've got 3 into the black hole, it's going to be time to rotate back over to the other location, and then 2 more will spawn in over here. And it's basically just a case of repeating this process. Of course, killing the revs when they spawn in between, because why not? You never know what you're going to get from the bosses. It might be good. Also, might not be good, but, you know, you got to take that risk. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, these are only 60k per mob, basically. 60k per mob, per shard, sorry. Now, for most of these mobs, I'm getting 2 to 3. Well, 2 to 3 shards per mob. And I'm able to get them very quickly. And here you go, one spawns, and then you just kind of nuke it. And that's it. Viscera, we made profit from that too. I'd probably use the David Cloak, considering it's all around good stats. And then in terms of the other equipment, to be honest, I should probably just be using my Magic Find equipment. Well, actually, never mind. Bruh, I forgot about attributes. Now, the good thing about this is, with the right heart of the mountain, heart of the forest tree, you're actually getting whispers for doing this too, which is actually crazy. I'm getting 40 whispers per, which is not a massive amount, but we're not even on Galatea. We are getting a little bit of hunting XP, but I believe there are much better mobs if you want hunting XP to do than golden ghouls. It's just these make, well, we'll see, but I think pretty decent money. Now, what I'll say is the great thing about this is, I mean, you can do this at a very low level, considering you don't actually have to go ahead and, you know, kill the bosses. You know, even if you can't do revs and you're a lower level, you can still get away with doing this and making money. We'll see at the end how much we actually made in excess from revs, or maybe even lost. Now, what I will say is when you get these mobs down to 1 HP, make sure you don't hit them with anything else after the 1 HP because they will die. You can continue to hit them with the hunt axe for whatever reason. I don't know why you would want to, and they won't die because that's the whole sort of mechanic. And also, you're getting your milestone up at the same time. It's just good all around. Good for progression, not only for money. What I'll say is just make sure that every time after you've actually gone ahead and completed the boss to throw your fishing rod. If you're using the same pet rule as me, if you're using something different, then maybe you don't have to. Otherwise, you won't be benefiting from the frog's perks. I have to change lobby. This is way too laggy. Okay, there we go. It's been an hour of crypt ghouling and relatively miserable rev drops. It's time to see what we got. So if we go over to our hunting box, we'll be able to see that we ended up with 653 Midas Touch shards and also 2 Psychophant shards. Not 100% sure what you actually get these from. Let me check. Kill Revenant Psychophant while using salts. I guess we do have salts active for, I think it's like 50 days somewhere. So that makes sense. Anyway, I'll see you in a while after I've clicked 650 times and we'll see how much money we made. Well, this is kind of annoying. Why can't I just shift right click? Can I? Oh. Why can't I not shift right click or something just to redeem them all at once? 650 times! Okay, cool. We have everything in our inventory. Let's go ahead and see how much money we've made. And that is 36 million coins in an hour. Just from the shards. Which, in my opinion, is absolutely insanity, considering literally anybody can do this. You don't even have to have a rev quest on. That's 36 mil without the revs. We've got an extra 500k here from the Viscera. From the Foul Flesh, we're going to get an extra 704k. We can sell these extra shards that we got too from using the salts, which is an extra 280k. And look at that, they're already selling. I've already sold 88. It's been like the matter of seconds. So in the end, that was just shy of 38 million coins profit in an hour. Anyone can go and make 38 million coins. Literally anybody who has a Skyblock profile that can survive against, you know, crypt ghouls. It's insane. Now, sure, you know, I'm sure you could probably make more money from other shards. You could probably make less money from more difficult shards to get. It's just, that is ridiculous. Give it a try. Anyone can do it. And don't sleep on the rest of the shards because there's, what is it, like nearly 250 shards that you can do this with? Yeah, don't sleep on it. Also, stating the obvious too, I was most definitely not doing it as efficiently as you possibly can. With the current sell prices, you could probably make easily 40 million, probably close to 45 mil an hour. Maybe if you cut out the revs all the time completely, you know, probably make up more consistent money. It's just in case you get, you know, that big drop, whether it's a 1 and heart or a shard, the shredded, scythe blade, smite 7 or whatever it is, you kind of want the chance to get them even if you're not doing many revs. But I reckon if you cut them out altogether, you could probably consistently make more money because you don't have to think about, you know, those sort of things. But yeah, that is all for today. Go and try it. Cash in on the 40 mil an hour while you can. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.